This week on Capitol Report.
But there's no reason why we can't be fair and polite to each other.
Remembering the incredible career of Connecticut Governor Jodi Rell.
I love what she stood for, but I loved her as a human being and as a person.
Plus, the debate surrounding Linda McMahon, President-elect Donald Trump's choice for U.S. Education Secretary.
I'm perhaps one of the few people who's been privileged to call Donald Trump a colleague and a boss, but he's also a friend.
Also, a renewed vow to protect Connecticut's undocumented immigrants.
This is our fight. It's very personal for all of us.
And another reason to celebrate UConn basketball as Coach Geno secures his spot as NCAA coaching GOAT.
It's about just coming here every day and trying to be better than we were yesterday.
Great advice, Coach. Capitol Report starts now. Welcome to Capitol Report. I am Tom Dutch. We are so glad you're spending your time on Sunday morning alongside a little subdued panel this morning, a little bummed out, alongside the mayor of Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Good morning.
Danielle Wong. Joe Auriemma was former Speaker of the House. Our pal Liz Quinn, a big staffer of Jodi Rell, big longtime friend, supporter. And Johnny Mack, who also served with Jodi Rell in the Senate.
Good morning, Tom. Yeah.
Right, guys, the death of former Governor Jodi Rell, heartbreaking loss for Connecticut more than 20 years ago. Rell was thrust into the state's top job in dramatic fashion when then Governor John Rowland abruptly resigned while facing a corruption scandal. Looking back, it's hard to imagine anyone could have made a smoother transition. Rell took over as governor at a time where there was great mistrust in government in our state, and she didn't skip a beat. Rell helped right the ship the following 2 years, and when she ran for governor in 2006, she trounced Democrat John Stefano by nearly 28 points. To say that Rell was well-liked and respected on both sides of the aisle would, well, be an understatement. And outside the Capitol, she was a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and a friend to all. And she made it her work later in life to bring civility back to politics, much needed. Don't take it from my word for it. Here's three guys who know a little something about what it takes to govern in Connecticut. Watch this.
She really tried to work across the aisle for the best interests of the people in Connecticut. And I think that reflects the fact she's a good person.
I think kindness and openness and willing to discuss things are very important. She did those things. She reported to the people of Connecticut, and she deserved the love and affection that she received.
She participated in everything. Our budget discussions, we went through 9/11 together. We had a lot of issues. In a small state like ours, we could cover a lot of territory. But she was someone that really got along with people. And I think that's the real uniqueness of her. I use the word beloved because she was beloved. Probably one of the greatest political figures, public servants we've ever had in Connecticut.
And Liz, she was beloved to you. We make fun of you every time we mention with the sub base, and you bring up Jodi Rell. It's
Last
almost
week,
like
we talked about her tax credits.
Exactly. Well, the floor is yours.
I'm going to struggle through this, so I apologize, but I'm just so grateful, to have had the chance to work for her a long time ago and to remain friends with her, to be part of the Rell Center, where truly her passion really was for good governments and civility in politics. And yes, she was Connecticut's governor, but she was a wife and a mom and a grandmother. And right now, my heart breaks for Mike and Maura and Meredith and Matt and their kids as they're dealing with the great loss of losing the governor. But, on a personal note, she was incredible. I was just telling people, she'd drive by the office, the campaign office, late at night, but a long time ago, 2006, and she'd see the light was still on. She'd pull into the parking lot and, hey, Bulldog, it's time to go. You come over to the residence, grab a bite to eat, have a drink. And she was just an incredible person. You'd know when she'd look over the bridge of her glasses at you, she meant business. And the edict was, from every moment, to take the high road. And so the high road, Governor, is ours to take from now on, and we will do that on your behalf every single day.
And Joe, she was full of bipartisanship, right?
She was. She was a rare figure at the state capitol, and everything Liz said is absolutely true. She put the state of Connecticut over her own political aspirations. I bet you if you asked her privately, did you ever aspire to be governor, she'd say no, but I got thrust into it, so I did what I could with it. I think Liz also mentions a great point. At this time like no other, we need to take that mantle from Governor Governor Rell and talk about civility and working together. And yes, we can have our fights, but we can disagree without being disagreeable. I think it's a calling to all Connecticut residents to pick up that mantle and continue the hard work she started.
Johnny Mac, you served with her in the Senate when, you know, she was governor, and you were a Senate minority leader.
Yeah, Lieutenant Governor. Then
Lieutenant Governor, yeah.
She restored faith in government for the people of the state of Connecticut. She led on issues like transportation with Jim Amon, stem cell research, LGBTQ rights, and so many other issues, climate change. What I'm going to remember most about Governor Rell is her, the person. Late session in 2009, she called me up, said, come into my office. And it was just the two of us, which was unusual. Lisa Moody wasn't with her. And she said, what's wrong? And I said, you know, the Democrats, they're doing this. She goes, no, what's wrong? You're not acting, something's going on. And it just so happened that it was a very difficult time in my life. Nobody knew other than my mother what was going on, but she knew. And she was that mother to me, caring more about me than she was about what was happening in the Senate that day. She's just a wonderful person.
All right, God bless Jodi Rell. Welcome to Connecticut, the U.S. Education Secretary, capital of the world. 3 years after President Biden tabbed Meriden native Miguel Cardona for the gig, President-elect Trump has picked Stanford's Linda McMahon to lead the U.S. Department of Education. McMahon is a former WWE executive. How can you forget that? She ran twice for U.S. Senate, losing to both Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy, the Murph. She ran the Small Business Administration under the first Trump presidency and has remained one of Trump's closest allies. A key player on the Trump transition team, McMahon has no classroom experience. President-elect released a statement saying, we will send education back to the states, and Linda will spearhead the effort. The head of Connecticut's largest teachers union, Katie Davis, called the nomination unacceptable and cruel. And just moments before McMahon was picked, was made official, Governor Lamont was asked what he thought the impact would be on the Department of Education. Watch this.
Very little. I think they're just rearranging the deck chairs. You're still going to have Title IX. You're still going to have the grants being made. That's not going to go away. All they're going to do is move it from one building to another.
Well, Mayor, I doubt you'll be having the same kind of remarks about Linda McMahon as you probably did about your pal Miguel Cardona, right?
That's correct. Like, look, Trump promised to dismantle the education system. And so, given Linda McMahon's experience with WWE, I believe that that is the perfect pick if he wants to keep his promise and dismantle the Department of Education from the top down. You know, what's scary to me on the local level is all of the incentivizations that come from the federal government, come through the state, and then to the municipalities. What's going to happen? We need to come together, protect the institutions that we have so dear to us, protect our youth, and come together and figure out how to do that together, because this is a joke. I don't think that, of course, she's not qualified. I don't think the conversation is about who's qualified. The conversations are about how do we get his Project 2025 done on the level top down. So,
you know,
no surprise here.
Ronald Reagan in 1980 ran on a platform to get rid of the Department of Education. He wasn't able to do it. I don't think Donald Trump's going to be able to do it, but he is going to make changes. Linda McMahon, speaking of Jodi Rell, Jodi appointed her to the State Board of Education. She's an incredibly smart businesswoman. She's a good person. She's going to get confirmed, and I think she's going to do the job that President Trump wants, and it's going to be good.
I think Jim Himes, paraphrasing, called the Trump picks for the cabinet the apprentice with nuclear warheads, right? On the issue of immigration, Connecticut's Democratic leaders are vowing to keep undocumented immigrants safe from deportation. They came together at the Capitol last week to make their voices heard. Attorney General William Tong, whose parents came to the U.S. as immigrants, says he's working with other AGs across the country to protect the 113,000 undocumented men and women and children who call Connecticut home. Watch Willie right here.
I can tell you my pledge to you is that we and all of our partners are ready for this, ready for all of you, ready to stand with and protect as many people as we can. It is the policy and it is the law of the state of Connecticut to respect, honor, and protect immigrants and immigrant families here in Connecticut, period, full stop.
Yes. William Tong, Connecticut's blue firewall, Liz, huh? What do you think about that?
I mean, I think to everyone watching, it's very clear he's auditioning to be the next governor of Connecticut. And I'm sure this is very helpful in him raising big dollars for the DAGA, the Democrat Attorney General Association, and, you know, getting himself all prepared to be to be running for higher office. I think that's really what this is about.
Well, hey, Joe, hold on. Before we get to Joe here, speaking of the Attorney General, we want to take a ride in the Capitol Report Wayback Machine to 2019 and listen to what Tong had to say about the multi-state lawsuit Connecticut joined to try to stop his declaration of a national emergency so he can build a border wall with Mexico. Take a listen. Second verse, same as the first verse. Watch this.
An unprecedented presidential temper tantrum because Congress isn't giving the president what he wants, and he's stomping now all over the Constitution. I think the president's in a box, okay, and I'm not going to let him get out of it.
Up the old box, Joe. Tong 2.0, huh?
Look, that's fighting William. We saw a little clip of it in the campaign, but we've seen it throughout, and he genuinely believes it. And I think that's what he is working really hard with other governors. Some of his former Attorney General colleagues are now governors themselves. He's working with the group that we have, and he's being the person we need him to be. From his office in the Attorney General, he's going to fight to make sure that the laws are implemented in a way that's fair and just in how they were designed. What the White House is choosing to do with a lot of their cabinet picks, we're not sure. But I do feel more confident that William Tong is ready to fight and willing to fight. It doesn't sound like he's picking a fight, but rather he's looking at the issues that now President Trump is rolling out and saying to the people of Connecticut, I will fight back, and that's what we want in a leader.
But that's not the messaging I'm hearing. Sorry, Danielle, go ahead.
No, I was just going to get back to the immigration issue at hand here. We know that the immigration system in the nation is broken, and it needs to be fixed. But Trump's solution to do that is draconian, it's archaic, it's cruel,
dangerous,
and it's economically harmful as well. And so we need to understand how to move forward. It needs to be fixed, it needs to be addressed, but we cannot do that with cruelty.
Well, we don't know what his policy is. He hasn't been sworn in yet. What I'm hearing from Democrats is, and mayors and attorney generals, we're going to fight you. We're not going to work with ICE to let you deport people. So when the Venezuelan gangs that kill people in Stanford, when the Mexican drug cartel, which is in Norwalk, when ICE comes in to deport them, are they going to say, no, you can't? Is that what the Democrats' position is? I don't think it is.
It isn't.
But that's not what they're messaging, Joe. And I think the answer is we need to get the people who are here illegally, who are violent criminals, out of the country. The people who have been here for 10, 15 years, who are part of our communities, they need a path to citizenship, back of the line, not ahead of people who are doing it legally, and that needs to happen through Congress, not the president.
And I think we all agree it's just hard when you lead with, I'm going to send the military in to get them out.
But you're leading with, we're not going to let you take anybody out.
I don't know that we're doing that. We're saying do it in a fair and legal way is what I hear William Tong saying.
Hey, more to come, guys. Up next on Cap Report, if it's November, well, it's National Adoption Month. How is Connecticut doing when it comes to finding forever homes for children? We're going to get all the information about this from DCF Commissioner Jodi Hill-Lilly when we come back. Do not go away. All right, good. Well, November is National Adoption Month, and here in Connecticut, efforts continue to help find children permanent homes, and that effort goes beyond just this month. And so joining us today to share more about the programs that help support families through the adoption experience is Jodi Hill-Lilly, Commissioner of Connecticut's Department of Children and Families. The first time here on Capitol Report. Jodi, welcome. Nice to have you here. So, Jodi,
thank you so much for having me.
So, Jodi, we're highlighting National Adoption Month. What's happening across Connecticut today?
Well, this is a glorious day because there are 40 adoptions being completed all around the state today, and it is a wonderful, wonderful day. And 4 of them are happening right here in New Haven, Connecticut, where we just witnessed the amazing adoption of a young, vibrant, energetic young lady. So it was just a wonderful day celebrating this family.
Lots of love there, Jodi. So what's the theme of National Adoption Month this year?
Well, this year's theme is honoring our youth and creating pathways for lasting relationships. You know, our families who come forth are nothing but short of unsung heroes. We really appreciate them. Our kids, there are a lot of kids out there that need a loving place where families are opening their hearts and their homes. Like we saw today, it was not just, you know, a foster mother coming. It was a village that was coming, and that's what our kids need. And so we appreciate everyone. We appreciate the courts for opening up their docket, their rooms today for this to happen, and we honor everybody, and especially the DCF workers who helped to make all of this happen today. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. Wish you were here.
Well, I am here, Jodi. I'm with you right now. So what types of children?
Oh, yeah, that's true, in the room.
Hey, our adoption day was in October 13th. So what types of children and youth who face challenges in being placed with families? I know there's a lot of them.
There are. So particularly, we need homes for babies. We absolutely need homes for teenagers and their siblings. What we don't like to do is to split families up. So those families who are willing to take more than one child, we really welcome that. We have kids with special needs, medical needs, kids with ASD, autism spectrum disorder, and with developmental delays. So anyone who has a calling, and I believe that there are certain people who are just destined to care for kids like that. So we are willing and able to support you in any way possible, so that if you feel it within your heart to open your heart and your home, we are here for you, and we would really appreciate it.
Well, you basically
I'm looking at this beautiful little girl.
Well, you basically set me up there, Jodi. So if someone is watching at home and wants to adopt a child, or, you know, like in our case, maybe two, who can they call and how can they start the process? And pick that kid up. Come on, let's see it.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, you want to come? Listen, come here. Let's see if we can. Look what I got. Come on. Come on. They want to see you. They want to see your pretty face. Look at that.
That's not going to work. There
Isn't
you go.
This something?
All right.
Look at this. There
All right,
she is.
All right, Jodi. Who can we?
Say hi, Kenyatta.
Show us, Jodi, show us the number we need to call if they want to adopt little kids like that.
Okay, it should be right there on the screen, 1-888-KID-HERO. Also, you can go to CT Fosters. Call us. You could have a pretty little face like this. Look and say hello. Look at me. So you too can help.
The great Jodi Hill-Lilly, Commissioner of the Department of Children and Families. Hey, Vanessa never picked up a kid like that on camera, huh? How about that? All right, give her a big kiss.
Can I give a minute? Can I have a minute to shout out to you, Tom?
Okay, yes, you
You're
can.
a wonderful adoptive father as well. We appreciate you. Listen, we appreciate everything that you've done for our department. You too have opened your home and your heart, and so we thank you.
Thank you, Jodi. See you again soon.
Okay.
Jodi Hill-Lilly,
all right, bye-bye.
We talk about fiscal guardrails a lot on this program, but what about the moral guardrails? Up next on Cal Report, a call to the governor. Don't go away. Well, with another Trump presidency just around the corner, Democratic leaders in the state Senate sent Governor Lamont a letter last week. A letter. They're asking the Gov to take a proactive stance defending what they call Connecticut values. The letter from Marty Looney and Bob Duff reads in part, "We are prepared to partner with you and with the governors and legislatures of other New England states to establish a unified regional response," whatever that means, to protect our citizens and their families. Partnering with our surrounding New England states will strengthen our reaction to any Trump administration attacks on our economy while amplifying our commitments to the, well, there you go, values of our citizens. Because who wants first crack at this?
I have no idea what that
does that even mean?
Look, we're in
Make
salad.
it make sense.
We're in salad. We're in salad
It's
alert.
your job to legislate and to make policy and to lead regardless of who the president of the United States is. Newsflash, do your job.
Yeah, Daniel, you can translate the Democrats.
I can translate a little bit of it, but I think we need to look within ourselves in the state legislature. Like, we need to understand what's going to happen with the guardrails. I know we have some conflicting issues of what we can do. We need to tap in and allocate some more things to social services, to needs and resources around. And
CCM said loosen them up.
We do need to loosen them up. And my understanding, there is an exception to the rule when it comes to the volatility cap as it relates to the guardrails, and we need to consider moving in that direction.
But what does that have to do with Donald Trump being president of the United States?
Well, you know what? Just this past week, we had a hate group, PEP pepper hate mail in Simsbury, West Hartford, and Bloomfield to combat the LGBTQI rally that was happening in West Hartford. Hate groups like that are emboldened, and if we don't have resources and protection from the state level, we're going to be exposed here because the Trump administration has empowered those type of groups to get into local communities.
I don't think Governor Lamont needs a letter from Senator Looney and Senator Duff on how to protect Connecticut and Connecticut's values. He's doing a pretty good job of it on his own.
Yeah, and I think the take from the governor really is, look, there's a lot of things out there, whether it be Project 2025 or campaign things. He's a pauseful leader. He waits. He wants to see what's happening. He'll work with everybody involved to stand up for what Connecticut believes is right, but I don't think proactively going out and picking fights until the policy comes out is where the governor's at. He wants Connecticut people to know, I'm here, I have your back, let's see what happens.
And that's leadership.
All right, guys, next on Cap Report, the panel and I weigh in on the impact of Geno Auriemma's latest career accomplishment at UConn. That's a real television tease, huh? Hey, he's the GOAT, right? Don't we know that?
He is a GOAT.
Well, before we go, we'd be remiss not to give a tip of the old Capitol Report cap to UConn head coach Geno Auriemma. If, as of 11 national titles, wasn't enough of an accomplishment, you can also add all-time career wins to the list. Take that, Coach K. Auriemma got win number 1,218 last Wednesday, putting it atop the Mount Olympus of college basketball coaches. Geno arrived in stores in 1985 and has been, without a doubt, the biggest part of the ongoing evolution and transformation of UConn into one of the nation's top universities. His impact and influence stretches well beyond the Gamble Pavilion, and we on the set here congratulate him on his success, and we'll be rooting along as he seeks a 12th national title. Guys, Hurley's been getting a lot of headlines with 2 straight going for a 3-peat. Let's give Geno some love here.
Come on, he was dropped in a cow pasture essentially 40 years ago and said, figure it out, and boy, has he. He is the GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
All right, guys, that'll do it for the mayor, the coach, Lizzie Mack, Johnny Mack. I'm done. See you later.
In the air break.
All right, this is it. You know,